Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for the day of 658 for the 13th of December. For those that are trying to watch on Rumble and realize that all the DPA videos did not appear on Rumble, I have an update for you. For the past week, since the 7th of December, the automatic YouTube to Rumble sync is gone. It's just destroyed. Most probably by YouTube. YouTube probably disabled it so that they do not grow Rumble anymore. How I know this is because the auto sync to Odyssey still remains. So the videos are still synced to Odyssey. So for those that are watching on Odyssey, hello, so anyway, so I will be manually uploading to Rumble, and for all the videos that was missing, that was missed out on Rumble, I will manually upload it later. So there will be some discrepancy in terms of the sequence of the video. So just bear with it for now. But today's report will go up first, then the last few days one will go up later. So there will be this weird shuffle. So let's start off with the Kupyansk Front. So there is some updates regarding Kupyansk Front. The Russian forces have captured this entire tree line. There is now this confirmation after the Ukrainian mapping. Deep State UA actually shows that the Ukrainian lines is now right here, which means that over the past week or so, the Russian forces have been pushing along all this entire line, and they are also now the Ukrainian mapping also acknowledged that the Russians have pushed all the way to the Liman reservoir. I think that's called the Liman Reservoir. Let me check. Liman Lake. Sorry, the Liman Lake. So so that is actually now confirmed by the Ukrainian mapping. So the Russian forces is definitely making progress around the Synkivka region, and we have geolocation. Sorry, this is actually red color. Because Deep State UA actually have this geolocation of Russian forces just on the northern edge of the Liman Lake. As a result, they have to acknowledge this change in terms of the front line. This front line change has been already mapped by Ryba for at least a few days. So this is actually belated, but this is actually normal. Deep State UA usually do not change their mapping easily unless they have credible information, particularly come to geolocation. So Ryba in term will map based on information from the ground. So sometimes it's not necessarily through geolocation. That's why there's some kind of a difference in terms of the methodology, in terms of mapping. So this is normal. But both is very credible. I highly respect the work from these two colleagues in the open source intelligence community. So the Russian forces are so now attacking in the lake. Liman Lake region as well as Synkivka. Ukrainian forces counterattack in Synkivka region. So information coming from the Russian Defense Ministry. So we shall continue to monitor this area here. Furthermore, there's fighting reported over on the eastern part of Petropavlivka, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. So other than the Russian push in this direction, the Ukrainians counterattack. The Russians are also pushing here. Ukrainians are counterattacking over at Ivanivka and Yakhine. So the Ukrainian forces are pushing back. This is a counterattack. Previously, there was a Russian attack in this direction. So the Ukrainians are now pushing back the Russian forces. There is a geolocation of Ukrainian forces around this area here. It was a tank. This tank was then destroyed by a Russian some kind of anti-tank weaponry. So but it does show that the Ukrainians are making efforts in this area here to defend their positions over at Ivanivka. So it also confirms that Ivanivka is under Ukrainian control. So that is good in that sense in terms of the reporting. So that's all from the Kupyansk Front. We move on. So since we're starting from Kupyansk, we'll go clockwise direction. There's nothing over at the there is something over at Svatove. There is fighting reported at Kharkivka or Grekivka, according to the Russian Defense Ministry. They said that the Ukrainian forces attacked over in this area called Petrovskoye. So again, I have mentioned before, the front line was known to be something like this. So having the Russians being attacked in the area of Kharkivka is a bit weird, because you could have said Novovodian. So moving into the Kreminna Front. At the Kreminna Front, the Russian forces is attacking on the eastern part of Terny as well as within the Serebryansky forestry. The Ukrainians attack from within this wider flanking operations. The Ukrainians are pushing inside at Yampolivka and Dibrova. So this is the current strategic situation. There's not a lot of things to really talk about this. We move on into the Svatove Front. I have no reports from the Svatove Front. We move into the Bakhmut Front. This is Bakhmut city. At the Bakhmut Front, in the northern flank of the Bakhmut Front, the Russian forces continue their attack towards Bodanivka, and then that's all we know. There's not much reports around this region here. The Russian forces are also apparently attacking towards Ivanivsky. Not sure if is it from the north or is it from along the highway. It's kind of unknown because there is no detail talking about this. As the Ukrainian Defense Ministry simply mentioned, fighting in the area of Ivanivsky. Further south, there is fighting reported at Klishchiivka, as well as Andriivka. The Ukrainian forces counterattack over at the Klishchiivka region. So there's a possibility that the counterattack is actually around this high ground, where the Russian forces have some success in the previous few days as the Russian make this push in the northern part of Klishchiivka. So we shall continue to monitor the reports, mainly coming from the Ukrainian and the Russian defense ministries. Over at the New York Front, we have continued reports of fighting around in the Pivnishne region. As you can see, Kirovo. So this is reported by the Russian Defense Ministry, as well as in the attack in the region of Sumy. So the Ukrainian forces are pushing in this direction, in the area near to Holivka, a major city of Donetsk. This is Holivka. However, yesterday I mentioned about this Ukrainian flag flying over this hill. Interestingly, we have geolocations today, geolocated by military summary of Russian forces capturing a flag near Holivka, basically north of the position that was geolocated previously. So the Russian forces is shown in the snowy region here, holding the Ukrainian flag that was pretty torn, and the Ukrainian show of their mapping of their flag is actually here. So the Russian one is here. So I'm not sure if it's the same flag. Did they go up and then bring it down, or is it there's a separate flag altogether? It's kind of unknown, but it's just very funny to see that the Ukrainians celebrating their flag and then the Russians took the flag. Yeah, not sure if it's related. We move into the Avdiivka Front. This is Avdiivka Front. This Avdiivka is the north of Donetsk city, the capital of Donetsk Oblast. At the Avdiivka Front, the Russian forces continue their Avdiivka offensive with the fighting east of Novobakhmutivka, towards Badaichi at Stepove. In the south of Avdiivka, over at Jevene at Povomaysky and Nevelsky. So pretty much mostly the same, with lesser fighting being reported, because previously we have fighting being reported at Novokalinove, at Tonenke, at Kanyamka, at the coke plant. So there's a lot of missing fighting from previous reports, but it is still an offensive operation. There is a update regarding the front line. The Russian forces, so over at Stepove, this is the coke plant, this is Stepove, Badaichi. There is this tree line over here. This tree line has been captured by the Russian forces. If I zoom in, you'll probably see it. This tree line is now captured by the Russian forces in their attack towards Stepove. So this will allow the Russian forces to eventually capture Stepove, because you need this tree line to be secured, and then this tree line, this one, and then probably this one as well. So currently the Ukrainian forces still hold this one, and so it's probably part of this one. So once you can secure all the flanks, you can secure these flanks, and this flank, then the Russian forces effectively will have captured Stepove. So the Russian will be able to push through, and then you will see a confirmation that from the Russian side that Stepove has been captured. So currently Stepove has not been able to be captured is because of this flanking positions. This flank positions is under Ukrainian control. So capturing one side, the remaining one in the southwestern part of Stepove will be the last stand before the fighting will be going into the Badaichi region. So that's it from from the Avdiivka front. There is some other geolocations though, like the Ukrainians are geolocated within this Dacha region, so which is interesting, which means the Ukrainian forces counterattack in, or they went back into the Dacha. The Russians did not hold a position here. The positions is probably around here. This is more probably where the defensive position is based on the existing trenches that we can see from the satellite imaging. So however, the Russians are indeed at the building here. So previously the Ryba reported about this success, breaking through in this area here. This geolocation makes it a little awkward, but we shall continue to monitor because this geolocation might be belated, might be something from a week ago. We're not sure. Another geolocation is just Ukrainian forces getting hit by multiple launch rocket system over at Zhivany. So simply show that the Ukrainians are still there. So that's all. We move into the Donetsk Front. At the Donetsk Front, we have the Russians continue to attack towards Krasnohorivka. As fighting is now currently in the northern part of Marinka, as the southern part has been captured by the Russian forces. Video have shown that the Ukrainian forces are particularly in the southern part, they are actually retreating from Marinka as the Russians captured the town, but they are chased by FPV drones. The Russian forces are hitting them. So one geolocation shows particularly actually it's multiple videos of Ukrainian infantry as they are moving out in the opposite direction of Marinka, getting hit by FPV drones. So they are getting hunted down. Which also could mean that the Ukrainian forces will not hold this position as a defensive position. I think the first defensive position will be probably around here. The Ukrainians will be holding position in this area here rather than in this area. So there is another geolocation of Ukrainian forces within the houses getting hit by FPV drones. So it's here. So Russians are geolocated here. This geolocation is actually 2-3 days old. It's the explosion of an ammunition dump by the Russians. They hit by the Ukrainians. So the Russians are currently attacking in the north. So we move on. In the south of Marinka, the Russians are now pushing towards Boyeda as well. Fighting continues over at Novomikhailivka, with the Ukrainian forces counterattacking at Novomikhailivka to push a Russian back. Currently not known if there's any success about that. It's currently also kind of unclear if the Russians managed to have this junction or it was just where the battle happened. Geolocation of Ukrainian forces over at this tree line shows that the Ukrainian forces do have some decent defensive position in the northern part of Novomikhailivka. And we move on further to Novodonetsk. There is fighting reported at Novodonetsk, with the Russian Defense Ministry reporting that they are inflicting attack damages on the Ukrainian forces. So probably they are just attacking or bombarding them with artillery systems. I'm not sure if this will accumulate into some kind of a big aero offensive up north, capturing Zolota Neva, which could strategically be a thing. It's not exactly impossible. With the Russians attacking, capturing Zolota Neva, they can run down the highway towards Velika Novosilka, totally bypassing this entire area, and they can also go down the highway to capture Peshetivka, and they can go towards Shatevsky and just keep going northward, and they can hit Maksimivka. And if you look at the strategic situation, if the Russian forces just keep pushing northward and they hit Konstantinopil, this will just cause this entire area to be compromised. They were gonna struggle in getting resupplies and whatnot, and the Russians are hitting Velika Novosilka. They hit up Prahatia this way. So if the Russians concentrate in this way, this entire area will become a salient, and it will become a death zone for the Ukrainian forces, because it makes it really hard to reinforce and resupply this entire front line. So it's something worth thinking about when the Russians do some actions around Novodonetsk. It might not seem much, but if they put their effort into Zolota Neva, it could result in some very disastrous situation for the Ukrainians, given that there is a major highway around here. Over at the Velika Novosilka sector in the Zaporizhzhia Front, there is fighting reported at Staromayoske. in the same report as the one reporting about the fighting at Novodonetsk. The Ukrainian forces counterattack over in the north of Bryotny. So currently this is just the current situation. There's not a lot. So again, oops, this is very ugly. The Russians attack Staromayorsky, Ukrainians attack north of Bryotny. Further, we move into the Orikhiv sector. At the Orikhiv sector, the Russian forces continue their attack towards Robotine and Verbove. Ukrainians actually also do a major counterattack in the same line. So they're clashing in this area here over at the western part of Verbove and Robotine. There is no fighting reported south of Robotine, except that there is a geolocation by military summary of showing Ukrainian forces at this position. However, I did not move the Russian front line because I suspect the video might be a bit might be dated, may not be accurate, because we do know that the Russian forces has already captured this entrenchment. For the Ukrainian forces to be here doesn't make a lot of sense, because the Russian forces could easily just overwhelm them through infantry assaults. So I don't think this is a recent video as a result. That's all from the Zaporizhzhia Front. So moving on, we move into the Kherson Front. At the Kherson Front, fighting continue over at Krinky. Ukrainian forces continue to send reinforcement into Krinky in order to hold this beachhead. Geolocation of airstrike on the Ukrainian forces just becoming very routine. The Russian forces launch a major attack against Krinky, pushing the Ukrainians back into Krinky itself from the forest region. So it becoming so the Russian sources basically say that it's becoming a routine where the Russians will just keep bombarding the Ukrainian forces, attacking them, squeezing them. The Ukrainians will just keep sending reinforcement here and try to push out, and it becomes like a a very like an AI scripted kind of a scenario where things will just keep repeating until something change. So that's all from Kinky, yeah, very kinky. So that's it from the for the summary for the day of 658 for the 13th of December. Do press the like button, subscribe, and also yeah, for those at Rumble, of course, yeah, watching on Rumble, if you're not subscribed, do subscribe. Join the locals. I will be posting the links to the YouTube on locals. If the community is big enough on locals, then of course we can change locals into something different rather than just be a place where I just dump link of YouTube videos. We can actually do more stuff, have a community there, and we can chat about things over there. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next update.